If my return to acting is any proof of that not only just Asians, but all groups of people need to and should be represented in the entertainment. Because until you see it, you're not gonna believe that it can also be you up there on the screen. Hi, Adam, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing? How's your day been?
Doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for doing it. I absolutely adore this movie. I love it so much. I love your performance so much. I love Waymond. I love all the different Waymonds that we see. Like, I can gush about your performance in this for hours. I would love to hear about your work behind the scenes with people like Ke Huy Quan and Wong Kar-wai and where that took you.
You know, when I was in my early 20s and those opportunities as an actor dried up, I found myself at a crossroad. Where do I want to continue down a path where there was just nothing for me, or do I want to try something new? And I love movies so much, and I didn't want to give that up, so I enrolled myself in film school. I went there, graduated, and one day I got a call from Ke Huy Quan, and whom I met earlier, many years ago. And he says, hey, I'm shooting a movie in Toronto. I was wondering if you want to come in and work for me. And I said, and this is right after graduation, by the way. And I said, yeah, sure. I flew there, walked on the set, and it was the X-Men. And it blew me away because I didn't even know I was working on one of the most anticipated comic book movies at that time. And it was Ke, me, and a few other guys, the action team. And we spent 9 weeks choreographing, rehearsing, and shooting the Mystique and Wolverine fight sequence. And after that, Ke Huy Quan kind of took me under his wings, and we started working together on a number of projects in LA and in Hollywood, and then also in Asia as well. Mm-hmm. And he taught me a lot about martial arts, choreographing, and how to shoot an action sequence. And it was just one of the most best, awesome experience I had in my life. And soon after that, I met one of my favorite filmmakers of all time, Wong Kar-wai. And again, you know, I started working for him, helping him, develop projects. I was the assistant director on 2046. Mm-hmm. It was great to be on his set because I love his aesthetics. I love his movies. And it was kind of funny too because for many years I was behind the camera watching him direct Tony Leung. And for me, when it was time for me to do this movie, and I stepped on the set and it was for the movie star universe, it was really surreal that I get to step in front of the camera and pay homage to Wong Kar-wai. And it was just an amazing journey.
I would say you absolutely crushed. Like I'm trying to be like not like fan out about it, but you are so good in this movie. Daniel Kwan, who's one half of the Daniels, tweeted back in 2020 a thread about his conversation with you and your auditioning process. And I highly recommend anyone go read it because it's a very good highlight into how actors who are, let's face it, non-white actors usually don't get the same opportunities as a lot of white actors do. And hopefully it's grown and getting better and better. What was the process like coming into this movie, getting this part, and then stepping onto set on the first day and finding out what you're going to be doing, not just acting-wise, but also martial arts-wise?
I remember reading the script for the very first time. And it was funny. It was brilliantly written, very poetic, but it hit me on a different level, a very emotional level, because I remember all those years in my younger days, in my late teens and early 20s, and I would read a lot of scripts, and they would often feature Asian characters that didn't even have a name, that would have one or two, and if we're lucky, it would last a page or 2 pages. And believe me, I have auditioned for many of those roles before, and it was just not funny anymore. And that was one of the reasons why I stepped away. So for me to read this script and not knowing anything about it, and as I'm flipping the pages, and my character and about this Chinese family, it just goes on and on and on, and I realized that Waymond is one of the leads in this. And it was just incredible. This is what I always hoped for, that I never got. And that's why I'm so grateful to the Asian representation that we have seen for the last few years. if my return to acting is any proof of that not only just Asians, but all groups of people need to and should be represented in the entertainment. Because until you see it, you're not gonna believe that it can also be you up there on the screen. When I read it, I wanted this more than anything else. And when it was my turn to go and audition for the Daniels, I was really nervous. And I went in there, and as I was doing it, they were giving me directions, they were giving me notes as the camera was rolling. And in that instant, I flashed back to the time when I was on the Indiana Jones set, when Steven Spielberg would be doing the same exact thing. And I did it for them, and when it was done, I told the Daniel, I said, by the way, you really reminded me of Steven Spielberg directing me. And I left that audition feeling really good, thought I would get it. I didn't hear from them for 2 months. So I thought it was over, and then all of a sudden I got a call again. I went in and auditioned for them for the second time. Once again, thought I did really good. I thought they liked me. I walked out the lobby, saw another Asian actor waiting to read for the same role. He was like taller, better looking, in a suit, his hair was gel back, and he just looked like he walked out of a GQ magazine. And had I been the director, I think I would have given him that role. And so I was really sad. And then 3 weeks later, when I got that call, it was one of the happiest calls I've ever gotten in my life. And I'm so grateful. I'm forever grateful and multiverse grateful to the Daniels for allowing me this opportunity to not just play one character, but 3 versions of the same character. It's just incredible. I mean, it's beyond my imagination when I decided to step in front of the camera again. And I thought, you know, I didn't know what was ahead of me. So to have this come upon, presented, it was just, you know, it was incredible.
I don't want to give too much away. 3 versions of a character that are vastly different from each other, that you're bringing completely different things to each role. Like, you lock in on very specific things on all these different versions of Waymond that are very real and like really hit. Like, I love sobbing in a theater. I was sitting next to a stranger in the screening I was at too. And like, there are scenes of you in this movie with you and Michelle, and you're just, it's so emotional and so raw and real, all mixed into this movie about multiverses. That's also an action movie that's clearly inspired by like Hong Kong cinema, because I was watching stuff like that. I was like, that, like, there's Police Story influences here, and like Pedicab Driver, and like even like Yes Madame, which is one of Corey's movies starring Michelle. How did it feel getting to act along with people like Michelle Yeoh, who is a legend in her own sense, and of course James Hong, who has over 400 credits to his name?
Well, you said it, you know, Michelle's first movie was Yes Madam, directed by Ke Huy Quan, and that was in 1984, the very same year that I did Indiana Jones. The only difference is we just did it in different parts of the world. And I waited 38 years to unite with her, to have this opportunity to work with her. So it was definitely a dream come true. I love her so much, and I'm a big fan of hers. And working with her, honestly, on this was just amazing to witness, to be on the set and witness her deliver this phenomenal performance. It's such a departure from her previous works, was really inspiring. And I mean, yeah, it was just, you know, honestly, if you ask me what is one of the best thing that I got out of this movie, aside from this, you know, this amazing movie, the amazing Waymond, was my friendship with her. It's my friendship with her. It's something that I will treasure for the rest of my life.
That's beautiful. And you two are in a Disney Plus series coming up soon together, right?
Yes, we're shooting it out right now. We're in the thick of it. We just finished episode 1. And it was just really fun. And again, to have, you know, to work with Destin Daniel Cretton, Melvin Marr, Kelvin Yu, on a, you know, predominantly Asian cast, based on a Jun Yang novel, American Born Chinese. It's set in the, you know, in the mystical world of the Monkey King, is really another, you know, amazing opportunity.
You have a background in Taekwondo. What did you bring to the filming process when it came to shooting these fight scenes that are very, very well choreographed, very well structured, but also have this chaotic sense because of everything that's just swirling around?
You know, I mean, really, it's really the credit to the Daniels for bravely, courageously hiring these two brothers who's never, you know, done a full movie like this. They've done a lot of short films and put them up on YouTube. And they found them and then just trusted them. And these two brothers choreographed some of the most amazing fight sequence in cinema. For me, I mean, I was just having such a fun time being an actor, and that's all I wanted to do. So I only put on my actor's cap, and I kind of trusted them. I trusted the Daniels, and like you said, I have a martial arts background, but the particular fight sequence that I did for this movie, the fanny pack, was a very specific style called wushu rope dart, which is something that I've never trained in and extremely hard to perfect. So I trained with the Lay brothers for weeks, but it was that one particular movement that I could never master, which was towards the end of the fight sequence where I'm swinging the fanny pack around, and then around my shoulder, around my neck, and ends with kicking the strap, and the fanny pack shoots out towards camera. And I practiced that for many times, and I would only get one section of it right or another section of it right, but never could do it in one full take. And it was important to the Daniels to shoot that piece of choreograph in one shot so the audience can see that that was me. And when it was time to shoot that sequence, it was scheduled for 1.5 days, including all the drama leading up to it. So technically, we only had 1 day. And we had about 60 to 70 shots. And the Daniels came up to me and says, Ke, listen, man, I know you've done a lot of action work in Hong Kong and worked with some of the greats. And they always have the luxury of doing 30, 40, 50 takes just to get it perfect. Just keep on shooting until you get it perfect. And Dan Kwan said, we just want you to know, we don't have the luxury here. We can only do 3 takes maximum.
Jeez.
And I heard roll camera, action. I start swinging the fanny pack, and it was a complete failure. First take, I look over to the Daniels, and literally I see them like this. Then he said, let's try it again. Take 2, and action. I swing the fanny pack, swinged it around my shoulder, and it was really smooth. Swinged it around my neck, and it was perfect. And then the very last part, I kicked the strap of the fanny pack, and it almost, in that moment, I almost see it in slow motion. It shoots up and fly towards the camera. And knowing that we haven't cut, I was so excited in my heart. I was so excited, but knowing we haven't cut, I stayed in character. And when it was done, I hear the Daniels clapping really hard, and they came up to him, gave me a big hug. He said, Ke, that was beautiful. And that was take 2. So the scene that you see in the movie, it took only 2 takes. And I mean, that is something that I'm very proud of. I
cannot say this enough. You're so good in this movie. You're incredible. You're an emotional powerhouse throughout this movie. You're a guide for the audience in many ways. I'm gonna go see this movie as soon as I can again. I gotta go, but also on one thing on you saying that there was a nice man dressed in a nice suit as you walked out of the audition. You kill a look in a suit in this movie. Just saying, absolutely dominate. That's my time. Hoping for a renaissance. It was such a great time to talk to you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And that's awesome, renaissance. I love that. Thank you.